taken, the weapon number, the trigger pressure is checked, and the magazines are checked.
Hildebrand, Hintz, Hammerschmidt and Dalmar making up the German four. Scardino.
She's always reliable, Scardino, when it comes to 20 shots with 1 minute attached to each. Penalty missed.
Now, I don't know about you, but Duran Bear looks very, very nervous to me as she goes through the rifle track. Dorothy Vera sitting around in the middle of the press centre, Mike, trying to chill out, looking relaxed. But I just wonder whether that's the right sort of preparation. I think I'd try and get right out of the way if it was me. Tyrell Eckhoff, Kajsa Mäkäräinen, looking cool. She's fast, she's on form, but she knows that it's going to take 19 out of 20 to win at least.
She does, and Mäkäräinen as well being called up for the cross-country team at the cross-country World Champs in Finland immediately after this. Domracheva, if she gets those 20 targets like she did, what, 3 days ago, she'll be taking another medal. Her skiing is so good already.
Anaïs Chevalier having a great championships. Laura Dalmar having an even better one. Well, there you see the weather conditions. The air temperature at 11 degrees. The snow still hovering at zero, any warmer than that. And of course, it turns to water. There's plenty of water under the snow. The conditions have been so warm today. But clear skies last night as we have a look at the track and the temperature dropping down to around -8, -9 where we were. I expect it was pretty much the same here in the stadium, Mike.
I think it was a much easier start to the track, Patrick, when you go down the valley to the left there, but it's the usual big climbs coming up before the shooting range. 15 kilometers, 3 kilometers each time around the track.
So the sun blazing down on the Hochfilzen Stadium. The crowds, it's a long process, just about everyone having to go through a security check to get into the biathlon area. So I know 1 or 2 fans slightly frustrated by that, but safety obviously of paramount importance. I'm not sure whether they're actually checking that people aren't bringing in their own alcohol. But either way, they've all made it in. And it's, what, a K&a-half, maybe 2K walk from the town of Hochfilzen up the valley towards the stadium. And a fantastic atmosphere being generated once again. Wind conditions, Mike, the flags at the moment are absolutely still, but when you have a hot day like this in the Alps, you get wind later on.
That's what I'm thinking. The flags, we've never seen them so stable here since we started racing nearly a week ago. And I agree with you. I think those flags will be quite strong from the left as the race progresses. Maybe easier for these early starters on the range.
Most of the big names going late. A one-word answer, Mike. Group 4 or Group 1 for you?
Group 1 for me.
Well, there you have it. However, I did have a chat with Magdalena Forsberg, who's working for Swedish television. She was almost as adamant that she'd go in Group 4, feels that the shadows creeping across the tracks and the shadows created by the advertising hoardings will give the later starters an advantage. Will they have the strength to cope? Well, I must say the organisation here in Hochfilzen has been second to none, running very smoothly. I don't think we've ever been to a championships where the atmosphere is so relaxed, Mike. Ruhpolding is an absolute focus. All the athletes stay in Ruhpolding, all the fans stay in Ruhpolding. There's a buzz for the whole fortnight. It's not really the case here. They've got so many options on accommodation.
It's wonderful. And I just had a chat with Franz Berger, the chief of the organising committee. He had just a huge smile on his face. He says, yes, it's going great so far. And I think it'll continue to go this well. The weather also makes it even better.
Yeah, the athletes are certainly enjoying a bit of sunshine after a long early season of clouds and winds and snow. So it's the 24-year-old from Boulder, Joanne Reed of USA, who gets the race underway. 49th and 38th in the 2 races so far. She actually shot very well in the pursuit, 0.001, so just 1 mistake out of the 20. Boulder, what a place to live and train. Boulder Iron's a fantastic area for climbing, huge facilities there, but they don't have the rich tradition of biathlon that's so important. Now, Christina Rieder The Austrians, the host nation, have decided to go early, Mike. Surely they know better than anyone else.
Well, I had a chat with Walter Hurl. He makes the decisions on which groups these athletes go in. So I asked him, and he said, "Hey, we live here. We know what it's like. We know what these temperatures are going to do." So my instinct is like the Austrians, that yes, it's quite compact now under the skis, but it's going to get more wet, therefore slower.
Well, yeah, whether it gets slower or not, but it's going to get harder. I think in the men's sprint, it didn't get any slower. It didn't really get any faster, but they had much more soft snow, and that absorbs your energy.
Yes, have a look at, remember when Johannes Tingesbo crossed the line, yes, he had a 10-second advantage of an earlier athlete, and then the way that Svensson crossed the line, I've never seen them that exhausted, and that's because of the deep wet snow. Yeah,
and the shorter you are, and the heavier you are, the worse it is in these sort of conditions. So it will be very, very interesting to see. There's no doubt this race is going right to the end. Lara Dalmar, a reminder, going 93 out of 99. Now Rosanna Crawford for Canada, 28-year-old, 14th in the World Championships last year in Oslo, and actually shot 19 out of 20. So she's looking for a repeat performance, and I think the Canadians are pretty happy with the way things have gone. They had a good mixed relay, one or two good individual results as well. Kryuku for Belarus.
Well, she missed 7 last time of asking in this race, the individual, and that's a huge amount of time. It was quite windy in Antholz on that day.
Yeah, she missed 7 in Oslo as well in the World Championships. And if she misses that many, that's 7 minutes added to the time. Just a reminder, Mike, the individual is unique in the way the penalties are added. No penalty loop, you just have a minute added to your time. In the women's race, that minute corresponds to 2.2 to 2.3% added. Compare that to the mass start, where a missed shot costs you 1.2%. So it's a massive penalty.
It really is, and that's why I know there's only 3 of these races each season now. There used to be 6, sometimes 7, and I think that's why our spectators love this competition. The nerves of steel you need to have when you're squeezing that trigger with 1 minute attached.
Well, you saw Reed looking a little tentative coming around that corner, and that's partly because that part of the course is still very firm. We were lucky enough to have a ski this morning, Mike, and you know that the sharp corners are pretty glazed after the cold temperatures last night.
They definitely are. Look at this section here. They have scraped some of the deep wet snow off, and let's watch this 45 minutes time, an hour's time, when some will still be starting, and this is going to be a whole lot deeper here.
Yeah, it's the uphills that are facing south that are going to cause the issues, and there are plenty of them. Kristina Guzik now for Poland. She's skiing well, 10th in the Olympics, 7th in the World Championships. This is the event she likes, and she needs to do well. She's had a 53rd and a 47th so far.
The Polish team, their spirits are a little low, Patrick. They haven't had the success they want at these championships yet. But Guzik, she's got the pedigree. Remember, she was the first athlete in the female field to hit 20 out of 20 in this race at the Olympics. She came 5th then. That was back in 2006.
Guzik being followed out of the start gate by Tatiana Akimova. Here she is, 12th in both of the individuals so far this season. And, of course, she got her first ever World Cup victory in Nowe Miesto in the sprint event. So she's a class act. And we'll see how she gets on. 4:10 for Reed going through the 1.6. That's not particularly quick. I think we'll see that come down sub 4 minutes.
I think so. Joanne Reed, I was behind the Americans when Joanne was beginning her 0, and I've never seen such a relaxed person. Bib number 1 at her first ever World Championships, and I thought, well, that's great psychology. Just taking it in her stride. She's only, what, 24-year-old? And a huge experience for any biathlete.
Mari Laukkanen ready to go for Finland. Now she comes from a place called Ino, which is, well, it's only 10k, 15k maybe from the Kontiolahti range, so that's where she does all her training. She'll be delighted that the World Cup is heading there instead of Tumen at the end of this season.
Very much so, and I think Laukkanen, I believe she'll set top 5 fastest ski time today. All she needs to do is hit 19 out of 20 and a real possibility of a podium.
Well, she missed 4 out of 10 in the sprint, so the odds don't look good. Now, this is where my money is. We nearly always get one surprise on the podium in the individual, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was Lisa-Theresa Hauser. She's gone early, as the two best Austrians have decided to do, so this does open it up for her. If the conditions go her way, Mike, we could see Hauser putting in a tremendous run.
I think so. She was unsettled in the previous 2 races because of the home pressure. Hopefully she's accustomed to that now.
Birkeland for Norway. Now, she's traditionally or habitually has a problem with the prone shooting in the individual races. Nearly always misses 3 or 4. Not sure what that's about, Mike. She knows that it's more important than it is in the sprint and the pursuit and the mass start. Do you think it's a psychological thing?
Could well be, but I know that it's so bright on this range here. A lot of athletes have enlarged their foresight to cater for that brightness. Yeah, Birkeland, she has done well a couple of years ago, but her shooting's off at the moment.
Good start from Guzik, 1.1 inside, nothing too fast, nothing too slow. Could be competitive by the time she comes through the halfway marker. What about Akimova? 2:32 on the clock at the moment, 2:49, so she's going to be up there with Guzik. Might actually just nip inside, carrying good speed round the corner.
Anyone who's done cross-country skiing knows that those very sharp little movements around that bend, it's a lot of force on the outside leg, a lot of support on the inside leg, and zaps your energy.
And how much specific training in your day did you do on corners like that?
Nothing too specific, like on the Cairngorm, certainly slaloming down the hill, just getting used to short, sharp turns. And I think most nations try to get as much of those reactive movements as possible.
But the important things, just like alpine skiing, getting around the turn's one thing, but you've got to get around and you've got to carry the speed out. That takes practice. It doesn't come from just skiing mile after mile.
So right, and Bjørndalen tomorrow, we'll see how smooth he is on these bends. He made sure he was the strongest on those, and I think he still is.
Anna Frölina from Tumen, but actually racing for Korea. Korea seem to be buying up some pretty handy biathletes. I wonder why.
And Frölina is just getting better and better. I know she's had a 4th at the Olympic Games when she raced for Russia in the sprint, but her season is getting stronger and stronger.
Well, you said she looked relaxed.
She did.
And Joanne Reid still looking very, very chilled. She's gone for lane number 3. The flags are about as still as they're going to be all week. But we've had a lot of mystery misses so far in these championships, and most of them have come in the first prone shoot.
Well, I think she's still as relaxed as she was when I saw her just as the zeroing started. That was low left, though. Very low left at 7 o'clock. Low again, but more central. Pretty good.
Not a bad group so far. Oh, she threw number 5, broke that very, very patient shoot.
Do you know, that was a nervous twitch, Patrick. She just thought, I've done it, I've got my 5 out of 5, and then she snatched it. What a pity.
Now, Christina Rieder from Leogang, not so far from Fieberbrunn, which is the biggest town around here.
6 seconds faster than Joanne Reid in releasing that first shot. That's a huge margin.
And you can see the margin in between each shot, between 3 and 4.5 seconds. 3.6, so about a second slower than we saw in the women's sprint race, Mike.
I think you can afford, and that's one aspect we'll see today, Patrick. It's a minute. For every little mistake you make, 1 minute. So we'll see the athletes shooting 4, 5, 7 seconds slower than they risk in a pursuit.
Let's see how Hauser has started. 3:54 from Laukkanen. As predicted, she's gone fast. Already the shadows starting to appear.
Yeah, no, and see, even earlier on, in my opinion, those shadows are there to use. The snow is faster there. I must say that I thought the expressions on Lisa-Theresa's face there were one of absolute pain. And
yeah,
if you show that pain through your face, you feel tense throughout your body. Let's hope she can relax as she moves closer to the range.
Hauser 14th in the World Cup standings at the moment. She's had a good season. She's certainly got a huge amount of potential. have these championships come a year or two too early? Well, we'll find out by the end of today. Emma Nilsson coming in for Sweden, comes from Torsby, which is where they have one of those tunnels. I think it's 1.3 kilometers long, and it cost about £1 million per 100 meters. No, it came in at 6 million, I think, the cost for a snow tunnel. But it's made a big difference to all those who live there, and of course it's increased the number of skiers that come and stay there in the early part of the winter.
Yeah, it's a big mecca for biathlon, and I think Emma Nilsson is so talented, and I think a very bright future, hopefully a bright day today as well. Bad start. So she has adjusted the sights down. Certainly no wind left or right.
Sun up, sights up is the...
Yeah, you can just see in the camera shot there's a lot of haze that you get, a lot of heat haze coming off the snow, and that has a strong influence today on the trajectory of the bullet. It moves it high, so maybe that's why she was adjusting down.
Kristina Guzik for Poland. Anna Maka started 19 for Poland as well.
Guzik second fastest into the range. Akimova just coming in now. She's got 12 seconds off Guzik's time.
Gwizdon, the other Pole, who's skiing very well. She starts 59.
Oh, Guzik, that's a really bad start for her. Normally she only misses one in the whole race. Let's hope she can get the next 15 down.
It's quick shooting from Akimova, taking at least an average of half a second per shot off everyone else, and she's got all five. 8:32 should be well beaten by Titania Akimova. She's kept the Russian contingent here happy with that performance. They're lacking medals. Of course, they did get the bronze in the mixed relay, but Akimova 20.7 inside the next fastest time. Mari Laukkanen, 29-year-old.
As predicted, Patrick, Laukkanen is 8.5 faster than Akimova, who I thought was looking so strong, so dynamic there on her first lap of 3 kilometers.
Disappointing in the sprint, missed 3 on the prone. So if she clears the 5 here, I think that will settle the nerves. Didn't start the pursuit, she was so far off the pace.
I think that was good news, the 20 seconds before the first shot. She's managing her breathing.
That's good. She matches Akimova with the shooting. She won't match her quite with the time because she's taken at least 8 seconds longer on the range. But what's important is that she has the 5 targets down, only half a second outside. Lisa Theresa Hauser throws the very first shot wide. Well, looking at the records, Mike, we have to go all the way back to 1996 when someone won this event, missing more than 1 target. And with Hauser putting 2 down, I'm afraid you can pretty much bet that she's out of it.
Well, there's Walter Hurl. I had a chat with him earlier. And Lisa Theresa, I think that fear that we maybe saw, that expression on her face when she was skiing, she really hasn't coped well with the massive interest here in Austria. The girl from Kids School.
Bertland, first shoot. So the Norwegian just behind the best coming into the range.
Well, quite fast release of the first shot, to about 2.2 to 2.7 seconds in between each shot. That's a good rhythm. But she did miss 1. Well, Grigorin, one of only 4 athletes who raced here 12 years ago, the World Championships. She came 18th then, and I think that was missing 2 targets. Yeah, she shot 1:001. I think she's setting the top 8, top 10 fastest ski time now, and often she hits 19 or 20 in this race. So
experienced, Grigorin, and that has to be a massive advantage on an occasion like this. The crowd not really getting into the race at the moment, just a little bit of response to each target going down. That will change the moment the first of the top German comes in, and the Germans, Mike, have really favoured Group 4. So we've got Hintz starting 90. We've mentioned Damar, who starts number 93. And just looking for Hildebrand.
Hildebrand, 88. Good chance to, let's hope we can see this hill. Akimova is going well. Yes, look how much is broken up already on the track. You're having to lift your foot much higher.
Which is exactly why I said not really getting into the race at the moment, just a little bit of response to each target going down. That will change the moment the first of the top German comes in, and the Germans, Mike, have really favoured Group 4. So we've got Hintz starting 90. We've mentioned Damar, who starts number 93. And just looking for Hildebrand.
Hildebrand, 88. Good chance to, let's hope we can see this hill. Akimova is going well. Yes, look how much is broken up already on the track. You're having to lift your foot much higher.
Which is exactly why I said you wouldn't favour a small skier to do well. All the heavier skiers, what you've got to do is try and place your ski exactly where someone else has had theirs, and then you've got to glide it at the same angle. That way you get a little bit of an advantage. Anyone who's run on the beach knows that it's quicker to run in someone else's footsteps than make your own.
Very much so, and as you say, this deep wet snow, it absorbs a huge amount of your energy.
That was a replay of Akimova, who's the current leader after the first shoot. She's gone out in 8:11. Bad news for Hauser of Austria. She's missed twos, down in 15th already, 1:56 behind. Here comes Laukkanen, clear on the first shoot. 11:21 from Akimova. She was only half a second outside when she left. She's now just 0.1, so travelling pretty much at the same speed as the Russian.
Look how far she's going off the race line, Patrick, just to try and get the more pressed snow, and it's just going to get worse, and that's why I can't understand the big names going at the back.
But intelligent skiing, everyone hugging that right-hand side on the way up this hill. Akimova actually having to cut across early because she's about to close in on those in front. 38.1 the margin. She's doing well, and this is what we want, Mike. Someone to set a realistic target early on. Generally, the winning time around 44, 45 minutes.
I think so, and of course, Sleptseva, the Russians have absolutely gone for this early part of the race. Sleptseva's 33, Starek 46. The three big names all within the front half of the field.
Now, I mentioned that all the way back to 1996, the winner has hit 19 or 20. This season, though, Dalmar has missed two in both and won both. And actually, of the last four individuals Dalmar's done, she's missed two and had good results in all of them, but she's only won the last two.
That's incredible. I think in all the races we've had this season so far, Östersund, that day of the women's individual, was a very windy day, and Anholtz wasn't easy either. So in relation, two wasn't a bad shoot on those days.
But for those who miss a shot, maybe they can draw some strength from the fact that the podium finishers have never all hit 20. We've had 2 out of 3. We've never had 3 out of 3 in the women's.
Yeah.
In the men's?
In the men's we have, and of course at the Olympics we have a number of times. Frank Luck, certainly at the Olympics, hitting all 20 but finishing second.
But all three medalists clearing happens very seldom.
Very seldom,
once.
You have to go back all the way to 1990 when the World Championships were in Russia, in Minsk, Russia then. And the three best Russians all hit 20 out of 20. The guy who came fourth was Russian. He only missed one. And it was a horrendously windy day. Only one other person hit 20 that day.
Steady. Poltoranina.
Just look at the haze, the heat haze influence, which does have an effect, especially in the prone when you're closer to the snow.
Well, that's the best we've seen from the Kazakhs since their accommodation was searched the night before the opening race of these World Championships. We've heard nothing more on that story, so we don't have anything to tell you about that. No results coming in so far. 117.5, that's a good shoot, and she'll put a little bit of pressure on the likes of Starek and Akimova and Laukkanen, who are all closing in on her in terms of ski speed.
She's a very reliable shot. She only missed one in Italy and Anholtz on that windy day. That was the best shot of the day.
Mona Bråsen for Sweden started just 30 seconds behind Fanuf of USA. Jerkovic for Belarus started a minute in front of her. Akimova still with the fastest time on the first shoot, and she's now a long, long way outside that.
Just thinking, Patrick, the bruising to the ego when you missed your very first shot of 20 shots fired, it's a real shocker, and it often makes you edgy for those next 4 shots, but she managed to get them down.
On the other hand,
get rid of it early.
On the other hand, you can relax because you know you've sort of, you know, you've got nothing to lose at that stage. And we do often see people miss the first one and then hit the remaining 19 shots. On the other hand, we see a lot of people who hit the first 19 and then miss the last one.
Yeah. I was saying to Uroš Velepech, Varvinet's coach, that today, I don't know why, but I really believe in her. She's not raced quite as much as some of the others in her team, and she's always a good shot.
Well, she's only going to be 5 or 6 seconds outside the leaders. The clock will stop at 8.5, so that's respectable from Varvinets, and 8:20.1 on the clock for her. That puts her into 4th place behind Grigorin, Laukkanen, Akimova, Russia, Finland, Slovenia in the top 3 places after shoot number 1. After shoot 2, Polteranen, Kriuku of Belarus, and Nielsen of Sweden, 1, 2, 3 at the moment.
It was a great start with her skiing, Akimova, with her first shoot, but she's going to miss 2 already in the stand. Oh,
well, 3, certainly she knows she's not medaling today. Celia Ammonier, starting number 43 for France. Now, the last 5 shoots have generally been a problem all the way through the season, but she's been shooting okay here. She was 9th in the sprint, 9th in the pursuit, and she's hit 90% of the targets. There's a certain symmetry about her results so far.
Well, that feels good. Confidence has to be high.
Now, Laukkanen, watch the movement of the barrel. Got a lot of movement of the body as well. No surprise to see the first one go down.
Comparing the steadiness of that rifle, Patrick, with, say, Dahlmeier, there's a huge amount more movement here, but so pleased that Laukkanen's getting them down.
Struck lucky on 4, down goes 5 with a good clean shot, and Mari Laukkanen on 16.47. She's going into the lead by a huge margin over Poltranina of Kazakhstan. And good news for the Finns, and I wonder whether Kaisa Mäkäräinen has taken note. Gabi Kukalova. Kukalova looking very, very serious. Hanna Öberg for Sweden. She's certainly producing better results this year. 46 is Irina Starek, probably Russia's best chance of a medal here today. They've been a little bit short of precious metal so far in the championships, Mike.
Yes, they have, and Starek and Schleptsova, really from their success at the European Championships, basically taking most, if not all, of the big medals. That's what's brought her into the team. She's not even in the handbook which was prepared for these championships, but she was doing so well at the European Champs and in the IBU Cup, I think they had to include her.
And they brought in, we've also got Vishnevskaya, who did well at the Universiad in Almaty. And she's been brought in to race. Be interesting to see how she gets on. Grigorin now for Slovenia. And the ski speed is impressive. This is looking very good. Grigorin second fastest so far behind Mari Laukkanen in terms of speed into the range. Can't afford another miss. Well, the medal's still possible, but it doesn't look likely at the moment.
Thomas Koss there, you can just feel the draining of his energy there, because Grigorin's his big favourite for today. 2 minutes added on in the first of the 2 shoots in standing.
Now, if you were going to choose a nation to be standing on top of the podium, what are you going to go for, Mike?
Well, it's a tough one today. I believe in, I think I mentioned it earlier, I believe in Varvinets to shoot very well and have a strong chance for a podium. A rank outsider, I know. But, of course, we can't ignore Hildebrand, we can't ignore Kukalova. Both so strong, composed on the rifle.
Well, as you see, the top 10 at the first shoot stage, I can tell you that we've had, over the last 10 major championships, so Worlds and Olympics, we've had 6 nations on the top of the podium, 8 different athletes. Norway, by far and away the best. They've got 4. Of course, Tora Berger was a star, winning 3 of those. Linda Gruben also getting a win. Russia have 2. All the other nations just 1 win apiece. France, Germany, Belarus and Sweden.
Now, Kukalova, Patrick, thanked her coaches first thing at the press conference for putting her at the very back of the field in the sprint competition. Now she finds herself dead centre, absolutely in the middle. Not going for early, not going for late.
And when she sees how soft the uphill sections are, she may be glad of it. But you sort of think if you're not going at the back, you might as well go early on. What a massive fan base she's developed, Mike. We saw evidence of that when we went to Novo Mesto. 30,000 people turning up every day for the World Cup action there. Yeah. Selena Gasparin, of course, silver medal at the Olympics back in 2014 in this discipline.
More composure. She's had a poor season to this point in terms of shooting. The skills seem to have left her, but back again on form at the World Championships.
Well, she's another of those who took a break to start a family, hasn't come back quite as strong as Dorana Baer did or Daria Domaracheva has.
And yeah, and her husband still racing, and not for the World Cup team, but on the distance races, the long tour races, and doing very well. He's won 2, I think, 3 maybe, in the big, tough 90 kilometers, 70 kilometers, so he's still at the sharp end of racing. Chernusov. Well, Joanne still looks so composed and so relaxed, and you know, you need to feel composed and relaxed and stress-free when you're holding the rifle. She has missed 3.
Couple of changes. Not often we see both sights adjusted.
Well, the coaches will have told her on the way around, okay, this is what happened to your first pro, and I know she only missed 1, and I felt that was a snatched shot, but she probably lifted her sights up because 4 of them were low.
Still no sign of the wind. Missed the first one first time round. Has done the same again on her 3rd shoot. 16 out of 20, the maximum now would be respectable when you consider the lack of experience that she's got, but she did hit 19 out of 20 in the pursuit, which was an incredible result for her. 49 to 38.
Now, we've only had 19 athletes through the first of the stand shoots, and there's only, what, 5 athletes hit 10 out of 10 so far. In fact, 4 athletes. I'm surprised on such an easy day for shooting.
Shavatová, 45th in the individual standings this season, and that's why 2 misses early on. She was shooting like she did in the sprint. I think perhaps a little more care needed on the individual prone, particularly that first prone. Get yourself into the race. Absolutely no point in throwing away your chances on the very first shoot.
Dmitry Pantov, Poltaranina's coach, the most relaxed person in the world. He used to shoot really well. And I was just about to say she looks very relaxed on the rifle, but something has changed.
Yeah, she's flustered.
1, 2, 3 clicks up, so she's taking them back. She put them up, she's put them down, she's taking them back up again.
She's guessing. She is guessing.
She's lost. I think she should have put them back down.
Chances are she's going to miss 5, having started so well. But number 4 goes down, saves the day, and number 5 misses. So having started so well, she now has 4 minutes added, and it took her about 40 seconds extra time while she made her mind up. That could be a theme throughout the day, Mike, and you have to remember those starting later have a bigger difference in conditions from the 0 to their race time.
Yeah, they do indeed, and the sun drops into your left eye a little more, so in my opinion, as Ammonia has, you need a good blinder on your left eye. She's got to miss her first, top left. It was a random shot. Top left again, that was an edge.
Well, this grouping's all over the place. Top left, low right, and finishes off with a 10.
Now, Jean-Paul will quickly be getting the coaches, informing the coaches on the track where those shots went.
What does he do with that?
It was random. I think he'll say, move it 2 right, 2 down.
Now, you may notice that all the French rifles have a big Ely on them. They've picked up a new ammunition sponsorship. A little bit of therapy to the solar plexus, I assume, just relax the breathing. Maybe that's why she was sitting so still before the race. Maybe tension getting to Vera before she's even started. It's not something you see very often.
It's not. Normally, Vera gets a leg massage just, what, 5 minutes before her start. Maybe she'll be getting that now. But yeah, I just saw her with her headphones on, just completely eyes closed in the zone, I felt, or just trying to deal with the pressure. What about Laukkanen? This is as good as it gets in terms of her shooting, 10 out of 10 so far. Slowly as this race goes on, you begin to think, well, this is pretty good. And it puts some tension through you and the rifle.
No one clearing 15 out of 15 so far. Can Mari Laukkanen hopefully will get a close-up on the fall of shot.
Quite a direct right elbow plant there, and she had to move it a couple of times.
Starrick in for her first shoot, having started number 46. Well, there's the first miss for Laukkanen, 27.42 the target time. She's still inside that. As you said, Mike, her ski speed has improved dramatically this season. The benefits of training with Mäkäräinen?
Without a doubt, glacier camps and other camps with Mäkäräinen, but Laukkanen did opt to move down to Austria last May, and she's done a lot of her training down here and on this track in the summer months, roller skiing. 1 out of 15, still very good so far for Laukkanen.
Pictures of Starrick, who has gone through that first shoot. She's in 4th position, 5.8 behind Akimova, but we know Akimova has missed, really struggled on her 3rd shoot. Pigdrushna for Ukraine. Ukraine's finest hour, that relay win in the Sochi Olympic Games.
You have to, on these big events, create some magic, and they really did that day. Pigdrushna, that's such a pity, middle shot missed.
Yes, the political tension was mounting between Russia and Ukraine. It was just the tonic that the Ukrainians needed. Soundly beating the Russians in that women's relay. Number 51, Gabi Kukalova, approaching the range for the first time. I wonder what she's thinking about her bib number now. She's sampled the tracks. She's been round once. She's got another 4 loops to do. The depressing thing is, Mike, that she knows it's going to get harder work every time.
I think so, and what I'm interested in at the moment, she's only 1.1 of a second slower than Immonia, but she's been faster than Immonia in each of the races by quite a margin. So I wonder if that is indicating that already, after what, 35 minutes, the tracks have become a little slower. She is the master of pacing as well, so maybe she's just taking it easy the first lap. What do you reckon, 17 seconds to the first shot?
But it has to be said,
16.2.
The earliest starters, Mike, oof, and that was low right. The earliest starters, their real advantage came on their first lap, and then after that, they're pretty much level pegging with everyone else. So Kukalova, she's used up her 1 life. She needs to hit the remaining 15 targets if she's going to win 6 seconds quicker. What about a medal for Korea? That would be a first.
That would be exceptional. And Frolina, she's always shot well, even when she was racing for Russia. And so many athletes today, Patrick, who are skiing in the top 25% ski type, they know they've got a chance if they can get all these targets down.
Still no sign of the katabatic wind that often affects this range later on in the day. 15 out of 15 for Frolina, so that's 2 with the perfect score with just 1 shoot remaining. If we get 5 clear shoots today, that would be a good. I think we're probably looking at 2 or 3 maximum with the perfect score.
Well, Frolina has just gone ahead of Laukkanen by 7.4 seconds.
Gaspar in a look of disbelief down the range. Looking at target number 15 and wondering why 2 remain standing. Faster skier on the first loop so far is still Amonier of France, ahead of Kukalova and Laukkanen. Hammerschmidt of Germany, who started 54's, produced a reasonably good time as well. She's only 6 seconds off the pace, and Shavatová of the Czech Republic, 6.8. So the Czech skis obviously going well, 2 of them in the top 6.
Well, the roaring in the stadium, of course, is Hammerschmidt. She's cleared those targets, gone into the lead after the first shoot.
2-second lead over Akimova. Let's have a look and see where they've gone. Quite a high position, but looks solid. Yeah, good rhythm and shooting pretty fast as well, Hammerschmidt. So an excellent start for her. An 8-second gain in the range for Hammerschmidt of Germany. Came in just over 6.5 seconds behind the leaders. She's gone out 2.4 in front as we watch Veronika Vitkova, 7:20. And she has been the quickest on the track so far. 7:06 her time coming through the entrance to the shooting range. Let's see how she gets on.
Last year, she finished 4th in this race, missing 1 target at the World Champs. She hasn't had a great start to her season, Vitkova, this year. Often the shooting has let her down. She's missed 1 now. Oh, what a pity. Skiing so fast, and maybe that was her undoing, coming in so hard into the range.
82 and 81, her shooting percentages this year, so well below standard for Vitkova. She actually missed 5 targets in the individual in Antolz. Now, Marie-Therese Appert, we saw her pre-race looking nervous. She's managing a smile, but I think she's a bag of nerves. Interesting to see, she's opened up the neck mic. She's been out racing, training hard over the last couple of days. She knows how hot you get in these conditions.
Oh, it's now, what, 12 degrees of sun on these hot suits. You really do boil.
Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't seen anyone in short sleeve order. Hats and headbands stay on because of the sponsors. As we watch Amonier, best she can do is 9 out of 10 up to the halfway stage.
I love the way the hand grip, you can see her left hand there just locked into that rifle. It just anchors it so tightly, but she's missed 1. Or another one, I should say. She missed 1 in the prone.
Looking for her 3rd successive top 10, but with each of these misses, her chances of finishing in the top 20 are looking pretty remote. And yeah, not the best shooting we've seen from the French. We're talking about the ammunition, Mike. That's a fairly, what was it, 84,000 rounds they're being sponsored. That's fairly useful in terms of finances.
Well, when you buy these amazing, I love the Elay rounds. I always use them. You're buying a box of 100 now. It costs you £27 for just 100. And so often each day you'll fire 100 rounds in summer training. It's a huge amount of money.
And of course, one of the problems with biathlon is you shoot in temperatures from, what, 15 degrees all the way down to -20. And so it's finding a round that can cope with that variation.
Well, exactly that. Today, the barrels, yeah, they're in an ambient temperature, what, 10 degrees warm, and normally it's -15, and the ammunition is affected as well as it gets colder. Very stable in these conditions, though. Akimova, last stand, of course, missing 3. She just hasn't anchored her stand position. Total of 5, 0-3, 0-2.
So that's roughly 2 kilometers added to the distance. And as we mentioned earlier on, 2.2, 2.3% added with every missed shot today. It's crucial that you clear the early targets, give yourself a chance. Now, Mari Laukkanen will know that she is skiing fast enough to medal if she hits 19 out of 20. 5 more targets to go for her. Irina Starik on her first stand, misses number 3. Lots of movement, but the reflexes are good from Laukkanen. What about the last one? Great shooting.
Wow.
Absolutely sensational from Laukkanen. Best shooting we've seen so far this season from her. When you remember, she missed 4 out of 10 in the sprint event, Mike. Maybe just getting herself into the World Championships. But that is a massive improvement. And she comes out with a lead of 1 minute 17. That is the target to beat.
Now, I think we said earlier the day that she manages to get 18 or 19 with her ski speed, it gives herself a wonderful chance of a medal today. And going early, I think both those add up to a huge success for the Finnish team and Laukkanen.
Are the Finnish press going to be writing about Laukkanen rather than Mäkäräinen at the end of today? It is quite possible. Well, we've got a change after shoot number 4. Laukkanen is the new leader. Laukkanen actually leading after shoot number 2 as well. Down in second place after shoot 3. Frölina has come through to take the lead there. So we're waiting for Frölina to come in for her final shoot. I think Frölina actually is going to lose out to Laukkanen, even if she hits the last 5.
Well, 12 years ago, around about now, Grigorin missed 18 today. She's hit 18 today, she's hit 17. Still a chance of a top 15, I think, the way she skis.
Gabi Kukaleva, an early miss from her. Lots of noise in the stadium as I'm suspecting that it's Dalmar who's just getting underway. We'll get back to the start sheet in a moment. Great shooting from Kukaleva. That's not easy in these sort of conditions, Mike, with so much noise in the stadium.
Oh, she's coping so well. Talking with her coach yesterday, he was saying that 1 in 10 of the population in the Czech Republic right now will be watching this on the Czech TV.
The first 70 athletes through the first split just before the range. Vitkova still the fastest, starting 58. Ammonia started 43, is second. Kukaleva 51 is third. 63 Kistanova. We've really got to wait until we see the 80s, because that's where we see a bunch of the favourites for today's race. Now, Wisniewskaja, is she going to be the first to clear all the targets?
She only missed 1 last year in this race at the World Championships, finished 14th. 24th, sorry.
Well, she's carrying that form we saw in Almaty.
Oh!
What was that, 10 days ago? 19 out of 20. Laukkanen's time of 35.40 survives. It would have survived anyway, but it's still a good performance by the Kazakh. Now, Anna Frölina. She's in a position to clear 20.
Pulse rate of 167 as she squeezed the trigger first time.
Snatched at 3 and 4.
The mind is getting in the way. She was hoping for that perfect 20 out of 20.
Maren Hammerschmidt getting a good response from the crowd with her 10 out of 10. She's halfway there, 16.40. Laukkanen on 16.55 is going to be bettered by 12.5 seconds. Excellent start from Hammerschmidt. Are we going to see a German 1-2-3? That's quite possible today. They've got a very, very strong field, but a lot will depend on what the conditions are like for those starting at the back. And Hildebrand, starting 88, is going to be the first to find out.
Well, this is interesting. Hildebrand starting, and I think Hammerschmidt would be very wise to get in behind her, of course, her teammates, to get that drag along factor. The Hildebrand, of course. Getting confused here.
Yeah, easier said than done when someone's on their first loop and you're about to start your third.
It is easier said than done, but you will find some athletes so focused can get in there, and Hammerschmidt, so good so far.
Yeah, she's looking very comfortable, and Joanne Reid, well done to her. First to start, first to finish, and as a result sets the leading time, 44.06. Shame about the shooting with those 4 misses, but to be honest, that's pretty handy shooting. I think she can be happy with the way things have gone. She won't get a race in the mass start. 49.38, we wait and see where she finishes today, but I think she's done herself and the American team proud. What about Marie Duranabert? Crucial first shot.
Second fastest time into the range, just 0.4 behind Vitkova.
And we know what happened to Vitkova. Exactly the same.
Oh, that's a bad start for Duranabert. I think she snatched the last one, maybe went early on the first one.
And starting number 91, a crowd favourite, of course, Daria Domracheva stunned us all with her performance in the pursuit. And the Belarus hats are out in numbers. Oh, how they would love to see her get the win today. But I'm not sure she's going to be able to cope with the standing shoot. But we did say exactly the same at the start of the pursuit. Dorothy Vera with a miss on shot number 4. It was a quick shoot, 2.5, Mike. She's about half a second quicker than everyone else.
Well, I like the way she's being aggressive today, Vera. She's been a little careful in the previous races, and it just hasn't worked for her. That's her natural speed, and hopefully that'll be the only mistake made.
Now, Laura Dalmar, who is trying to take the title away from Marie Duranabert. Duranabert with 2 misses on the first prone. Dalmar looking so chilled. She knows she's the hot favourite to secure this one. She wears the yellow bib as the overall World Cup leader. She wears the red bib as the individual World Cup leader, having picked up a maximum 120 points from the 2 races. She's won both individuals this season. And, of course, Dalmar on a golden run of success, with 2 gold medals from these championships already. Well, these are the conditions to be watching biathlon. I think it's a little bit hot to be racing. Krioukou started 5 and has put in a huge gap, 3 minutes 12 quicker than Reid, 44.54. Now that Mike was that's only what, 6 seconds slower than Dalmar did in Antolz earlier on this season.
I think that's a great performance from Krioukou. That's missing only 1 today is wonderful. Akimova missing 5.
Prone is good, standing is poor from Akimova. She needs to rediscover her form from Novo Miesto. Now, not sure whether she's going to get a start in the mass start. It will be close. Mari Laukkanen into the finish, 19 out of 20. This is certainly going to be the quickest time, and she's going to be, I think she's going to be over a minute quicker than Krioukou of Belarus. Great run from Mari Laukkanen. She'll be delighted with that one, and it takes some pressure off Kaisa Makarainen, who's just about started her race. The 29-year-old from Inu produces a time of 43.26. It's looking good. Top 10 certainly. There is, of course, a chance that is good enough for a medal.
Do you know, I really, as she came in, I know she's such an early starter, 11th out of 99, but I think that is good enough for a medal. Her ski speed was so strong on the last loop.
Well, she's down to 3rd position after the 3rd shoot, so a lot depends on how the likes of Avakamova and Frelina do on their final shoot. Tyrell Eckhoff.
Look at the left eye. I know the Norwegians don't have any blinders, but look at the sun in the left eyeball. It doesn't make the sight picture quite as crisp as the eye in the shade.
Why does the sun on the left pupil affect the size of the right pupil?
It somehow does. The clarity is not quite the same because that sun is coming in your eye. Definitely clear picture when it's closed or when it's blinded.
Well, Scardino broke her position incredibly quickly, but all 5 going down, so she comes out with the first 10 targets clean. Number 26 just leaving the range. That's Julia Ransom of Canada. Here's Kaisa Makarainen. A lot of the big names are missed on the first prone. She's clean at the moment. Way over to the left-hand side. Needs to bring it back. She does. 5 out of 5. And Kaisa is still on course for a medal here. It's early days to say that, but such a relief for the Finns to see her get through that first shoot.
That's great. Guess whose time was fastest into the range. It was 6.5 up on Tirolekov, and is even faster, having hit 5. Tirolekov set the fastest ski time in the pursuit competition, but she's going to miss 2. Look at the snow. It's deep, it's wet.
Kukalova. So the conditions are pretty quick. So maybe 51 isn't a bad start number to have. Important to learn how to ski on a flat ski, Mike.
I think in these conditions you need to be as efficient, and that's where Dahlmeier is the best, in my opinion. She floats very, very well balanced on the skis. Kukalova, she just doesn't take any risk. I love the way she treats her biathlon. Yes, it's slower than most, but so often she hits them all.
So she's through to shoot number 3 with only 1 penalty and already building herself a lead over the rest of the field. That's a fantastic performance, 39.9. That would have been a minute 39. And the importance of that, Mike, is that the other big favourites are starting later. So with Kukalova leading, they know when they hear you're 1 second behind or you're 1 second ahead. When they hear the name Kukalova, they know they're up against it.
Oh, very much so. What a terrible start for the second best Norwegian.
Egan on her 3rd shoot for USA.
Oh, what is wrong with the Norwegians? Tirolekov missing 2, Ulsbu missing 3, and that's just out of the first 5 shots.
Now, I can tell you what, Claire Egan is up in the top 5 at the halfway point of this race, having gone 10 with 10.
Yes.
15 with 15. Yes. We haven't seen an American on the podium so far. We came very, very close with Bailey in the, what was it, the pursuit, wasn't it? That he so nearly got up into the top positions, just didn't have the ski speed over the last lap. But this is great from Egan. Now, Maren Hammerschmidt, Germany holding their breath because it's getting closer and closer to the time that Laura Dahlmeier comes in for her first shoot. She started 93, so 2.5 minutes behind Hildebrand.
Sorry, I'm just thinking, you wouldn't expect Hildebrand to be 20 seconds off the fastest into the range. I am surprised. That's a huge margin, but all 5 certainly helps. Hammerschmidt, it started so well, Patrick. She's going to miss 2, second prone.
Now, if there's a day, Mike, when conserving some energy for the last 2 laps is important, it's today.
It really is. I was thinking about that with Laukkanen. I think she pressed that pace on the final lap to a real 8-10 second improvement on her previous laps.
Abakumova hasn't missed so far. Still has the 3rd fastest time after 3 shoots. A little delay between 3 and 4, but it's looking very good. The thinking shot, number 20, down it goes. 35.40. She's going to be very close to Laukkanen's time. This is going to be interesting. How much has Abakumova got left in the tank? As you'll notice, another of the Korean skiers, Korean imports, let's call her. And this is going to be handy. 0.1 of a second to play with, but she does have the advantage of slightly bigger shadows, so cooler conditions on the snow, but also she knows what she's chasing.
Look at the way she's going way over to the left where the ski was less snowed on, less skied on.
Daria Domracheva, good start, and it was quick. It was super quick, the shooting, but not so quick out on the tracks. Makarainen taking a fair chunk of time out of her.
15.8 seconds, Domracheva off the pace. She is another one of those athletes who is the master of pacing, though. She'll conserve her energy.
Here we go with Dahlmeier. Dahlmeier coming through the first split in 2nd place, 0.9 of a second down on Makarainen. I suspect that is the split that she wants to get all the way around this race.
The wind hasn't picked up at all. The flags are hanging dead straight.
In the last 4 individuals, Dahlmeier has missed 2 on each of them, but she's won the last 2. She has the speed to make up for mistakes. There's the first. That won't phase her. That won't faze her. She can still do 19 out of 20, and I think she'll believe that that would be good enough for another gold medal. But she's made life pretty difficult for herself, exactly a minute behind Kaisa Mäkäräinen.
Very interesting how this is going to unfold. And as she said earlier in the interview, she only lives in the moment, so she'll put that out in the past, that one shot miss.
Let's see where it went. What's the prediction?
I would say it'd be top left or top right. It'd be a snatch. Oh, it's
low right.
middle right, and 3 o'clock. A snatch. Oh, Mäkäräinen, that's a great ski speed.
Mäkäräinen leading in the early stages. She had a lead of 14 seconds coming out of the range for the first time, so she's really turning it up. Daria Domracheva's gone through. She came out in 3rd place after that first shoot. Dalmaier with a miss, just looking, well, she's down in 34th position after shoot number 1. Now, Sanfilippo, the last athlete in the start list, I think, who can really think of doing something, but 2 misses early on for the Italian. Oh. The championship started well for Italy with Vitozzi and Sanfilippo, but things not going their way today.
And she's 26 seconds off the fastest into the range first time, so losing a lot of time, and it'll probably be more on each lap.
Now, I must apologise. Susan Dunkley, starting number 98. We have to consider her as a potential. Not so good over the 4-shoot races. She's a good sprinter, Susan Dunkley. And actually, having shown a real improvement with the rifle early season, that sort of form seems to be fading. So it would be a surprise if we saw Dunkley hit the top 5. She skis fast enough to do so. Mäkäräinen, Hammerschmidt, Domracheva, Hintz, all up there in the top positions at the moment. Shima can shoot well. That's nice shooting. Very nice shooting. Good start from Shima. I sense you know what the odds were on her to start with, Mike.
Well, surprisingly, she wasn't favoured, which is, for me, a real surprise. Often when it comes to 20 shots, Shima is composed. She is one of these athletes, though, will have the odd bad day. A champ at majors, she normally has a good mindset. And let's hope Mäkäräinen has the same. This is very, very fast. Look at the time, 15:41. So she's got a full minute on Hammerschmidt at the moment. 177 heartbeat, 177 beats a minute before the first shot.
Mäkäräinen's record at the majors is not brilliant, though, particularly Kontiolahti, where she went as the hot favourite. Didn't manage to claim any gold there at all on her home tracks. What can she do here in Hochfilzen? 4 out of 5. She's still in the running. 16:42 has gone. Leading after the second shoot is Hammerschmidt on 16:42. Laukkanen just 12 seconds behind her. Scardino for Belarus. Join her just as she throws her first shot wide. 14 out of 15.
I was just about to praise her there, saying she's one of the few who has, on a fairly regular basis, managed 20 out of 20 in this race. One of the strongest women ever.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Ava come over on her way home, Mike, started number 35. She is in a position to challenge Laukkanen, who's the current leader. And Kukalova, if she clears 5 here, well, she'll be miles inside Laukkanen's time. She can actually afford to miss one, and she'll still be challenging the Finn. Hit 10 out of 10 in the sprint. Finished well in the pursuit. What a finish. So strong in the mind. Gabi Kukalova has produced another sensational result. What about that miss early on? She'll live to regret that if she doesn't take the gold today. 1:15 to play with, and that is just the sort of news that Mäkäräinen and Dalmaier do not want to hear. Kukalova has exited 19 hits out of 20, and she has an enormous lead after the 4th shoot.
What a wonderful athlete, Kukalova. Missing that early on, and I think you said, well, she'll put that out of her mind and probably get the next finish. 15. She did just that.
But what's impressed me, Mike, is she struggled to win individual golds at majors for the last 6-7 years, and suddenly that she's got that one in the sprint event, she seems a different athlete.
She's composed. She's asked to do a lot in terms of press requests. If she was at the Fisher promotional on Monday afternoon when it was a day off, a lot of people. There's Vitek, Rebar on the right, and he's the brains behind, I think, the success of the Czech team, and so smooth. What a great manager he is.
Well,
what a great athlete he's got.
Yeah, and I was just thinking, if we want, what is it, the 2021 World Championships to be a success, Novo Mesto is where they need to be, because that is where we will see more support than anywhere else. What about Claire Egan? 15 out of 15 so far. Can she finish it off in style?
Come on, Claire, I hope so. She's missed the second. Oh, this is the pressure hitting now. What a pity.
What a shame. 18 out of 20, still a very respectable score, but she'll know it could have been so much better. Hildebrand cannot afford a miss if she wants to match Kukalova. She's going to have to hit all 20 today. She's won here before, Hildebrand, but I don't think it's likely with that one miss on the card. Hammerschmidt, 2 on that third shoot, 2 crucial shots in the prone position. Fantastic.
What a way to finish.
Yeah, fantastic shooting. She can't take those 2 misses back, though, Mike. And look at the time deficit. Kukalova 34.25 with 1 miss. She's 1:52 behind with 2, so effectively a minute slower over the snow than Kukalova. Here comes Abakamova, who was leading after her final shoot, but she's lost some of that lead to Laukkanen, giving away 6.9 seconds over the last couple of kilometers.
Well, I think it'll still remain as the best ever Korean result. Okay, former Russian, but Korean result at a World Championships.
This is more like the form we were expecting in the pursuit from Daria Domracheva. The ski speed's fantastic, but the standing shoot, it looked suspect in the sprint. Somehow she managed to hit all 10 in the pursuit to win herself a silver medal. Now, Dalmar, 1 miss already.
Look at the flags. Never have they been so still on this range since last Thursday's first race.
Slightly surprised to see Dalmar slower than Hammerschmidt, but of course that's because of that first miss earlier on. Should see 5 here. We do. That was that last shot was what, split the 9 ring?
Oh, that was a wonderful shot. Yep, that would have scored a lot of points in terms of Summer Olympic shooting.
Well, let's see how she is doing. Of course, Kukalova, the current leader after 4 shoots. Kukalova down in 10th position. Dalmar goes into 5th with the same shooting score and some 13 seconds between them. So Dalmar really needs to clear the remaining 10 targets to win this one. Kukalova can do nothing about it. She's on her way home. Should be into the stadium in the next couple of minutes. That was a confident shoot from Dalmar.
What a pity for Vera. The magic just isn't there. She's trying the faster shooting again. First shot released under 13 seconds. It's not working. The slow shooting didn't work in the previous 2 races.
2:26 the margin for Dorothy Vera. And that's with 3 completed. Leading after the 3rd shoot at the moment is Kukalova on 26.01. So we're waiting to see how those the stars who decided to start late or who drew late bib numbers get on relative to this time of Kukalova's. She's one who goes for a long glide, Mike. We never see a sparky attack up the hill, but deceptively quick.
Yeah, she's so strong. As you say, those long strides for every pole plant and compression of the leg, she covers just a little bit more distance than most. hill climbing. She really is on her best form. Flicking the right hand away, getting the counter movement through the right arm to get the compression through the opposite ski.
Yeah, you mentioned all her commitments to sponsors. I think that's one difference she's made over the last couple of seasons, is she started to take it all a little bit more seriously, and it certainly proved dividends. There's 129 the margin still. Laukkanen still leading in the finish for Finland. We've got Abakumova of Korea in second place. Grigorin of Slovenia, 3 misses, but she's still lying in third. Take away those 3 misses and Grigorin would have had a sensational run. What about Susan Dunkley? 1 miss in the prone. This is looking better, much more solid. Great shooting, lovely way to start her standing shoot in the individual, and Dunkley still has a chance.
Well done. That was so composed, so fast, and so much confidence from Susan.
Now we need to compare Dunkley to the likes of Kukalova after shoot number 2. And the American has gone into 11th place. She is just 0.1 of a second behind Gabby Kukalova, who's on her way home and likely to take the lead. But Kukalova, remember, hit the last 10 targets, so Dunkley is going to have to match her on that front.
Jima, with her ski speed, really for a podium, could not afford to miss one today. She's just done that in the second prone. Still a chance, though, if she composes herself for the final stand. It'll just be 1 penalty.
Well, here comes Kukalova, 43.26. She's got just under 2 minutes. She's only got about 150 meters to go. So Kukalova looking good. Pigdrushna of Ukraine alongside her. Pigdrushna's done really well over the last 500-600 meters to match Kukalova, but Kukalova's done the work early on. The new lead time, 41.54, and a margin of 132. So she's extended her lead by some 17 seconds over that last 3-kilometer loop.
What an athlete. Missing 1 out of the first 5 and then getting all the next 15. Huge composure.
Abakumova, the only woman in with a clear shoot today, and actually no one else has gone through the 4th shoot. I had 6, 7 clear after 3.
Scardino, the day she won the Olympic bronze, she hit 20 out of 20, and she doesn't have the ski speed to miss 1 or 2 to take a medal. She missed 2 today.
Vignettes for Ukraine down in 11. Rykova 12. And Scardino out 2:49 behind. Now you see evidence of how soft the tracks are. Is that going to prove the undoing of Laura Damar? Damar on the way in for her 3rd shoot. And of course, Damar missing 1 in the first prone. She looked competent, looked very confident on that first of the standing shoots. Podjefarova now for Russia.
She just raised her sights up by effectively the fall of the shot by 4 or 5 millimeters.
Starek, the leading Russian in the finish at the moment, in 16th place. Wow.
That was good.
Yeah, very quick.
Quite a long time. 19 seconds for the first shot, but then rapid fire for the 5 shots in a row. You see the officials, they really are working to take the wet snow off the top. Don't often see that at the World Championships or any World Cup racing.
Here comes the finish for Claire Egan, a performance slightly spoilt by that last standing shoot, but she's shown us what potential she's got, and she goes into 10th place. That's a really good run. If the margin had been 130, had she hit all those last targets, she would have gone into the bronze medal position, so she knows exactly what she can do. Maren Hammerschmidt, who led after shoot number 2, but then threw 2 wide on that second prone shoot, and 41.54 is long gone. She's going to be almost 2 minutes behind the leading time set by Kukalova. Big cheer for Maren Hammerschmidt, but it's not going to be her best ever result. 4th place at the moment, 2:02 behind, and likely to drop 2, 3, possibly 4 more places before the end of today.
She will be asking herself later tonight, she'll look through these results, results and think, why? What happened to miss 2 out of 5 when she hit the previous or all the rest of the 15 shots?
Everyone is through shoot number 1. Makarainen, Hammerschmidt, Domracheva, Hintz, Akimova, Laukkanen, Gregorian, the top 6 positions at that stage of the race. Hammerschmidt still has the fastest time after 2, Kukalova leading after 3 and 4, and of course in the finish as well.
Hildebrand, a slight adjustment there, but she did clear all 5 prone previous time, so the coach is obviously advising her. I can't see any change in the wind though. Still dead flags, not moving.
Well, the crowd enjoying it, and so they should. Great shooting. 0-1-0 for Franziska Hildebrand. 19 out of 20 will match the race leader in terms of ski speed. Mike, 112 behind. And Alexia Rungaldier of Italy. I was just about to say the Italians haven't had anything to cheer about so far, but Rungaldier hitting every single target. She's a minute outside the best, and that's still good enough for second position. Extraordinary performance from her. Now, crucial stage for Dalma, missing on that first prone. I suspect we're going to see her take just an extra couple of seconds in preparation for this first shot. No wind on the range at all. First one goes down, 14.6. Well, that's no slower than normal.
That was top right. That looked like an edge shot top right. That was low left this time.
It's all over the place, very low left that last one, but they've all gone down. She remains in the hunt for the gold medal. Kukalova's time of 26.01 is going to be bettered by some 20 seconds. And Dalmar will know now that 5 out of 5 on the final shoot, and she could be adding to the 2 golds that she's got already. It will make it 9 World Championship races in succession where she's been on the podium.
What an amazing athlete. She's at the back of the field, she's getting all the information and still at the moment not feeling the pressure.
Well, I asked our colleague Ziggy Heinrich, who works for the German speaking channel, whether Neuner or Dalmar was regarded as the better biathlete. He wouldn't commit on that one. Obviously a big fan of Magdalena Neuner's, but he did admit that Dalmar is the more complete, the more, I hesitate to say intelligent, but she's a thinking biathlete.
Oh, she's so complete. And I think that Gerald Honig, our coach, saying that, and he's dealt with the best German athletes in the last 30 years, and they are the best in the world. If he says that she's the best and most complete, I'm with that, and I think she is.
Dorothy Vera, 2:49 behind. She's missed 3. That's 3 minutes. She would have been inside the best time had she cleared all the targets. I suspect there are going to be 5, 6, 7 women who could say, if I hit them all, I could have won today. Kukalova is likely to medal. She's in top spot at the moment, but Dalmar has 1 more shoot to go. Can you see her missing, Mike?
Just the composure she's showing. I thought as she got those 5 prone, I thought, no, she's just so composed today. A little random on the prone, but overall so strong, so composed.
20 seconds to play with for Dalmar. She might decide to use that on the approach to the range just to get the breathing under control, turning it into a training shoot rather than a racing one.
That was Zhang just coming across in 9th. 12 years ago, Ribo's son took the silver medal from China in this race.
And of course, Xu Maiyu getting silver in 2000. Well, it's going to be another great climax to this race, and we've been very fortunate that the conditions have dictated that, well, they haven't dictated where the athletes go, but the conditions have made it very difficult for the coaches to choose the perfect group. I'm not sure it's made too much difference, Mike. Obviously, Dalmar producing a fast ski time, but we would have expected that if she'd gone in the first leg. Now, Susan Dunkley, a medal is still a possibility. There's no rush. Oh, Well, I'd love to see where they went. That was not the most stable barrel I've seen so far today, but she's gone on to 14 out of 15 and only 32 seconds off the race leader, Susan Dunkley. That will be good enough to go into second position when she comes out. If the fourth shoot, if she can achieve that. Now, Shima, 18 out of 20. Mike with a clear shoot. Shima, one of the potential winners?
Well, I think so, but she needed all 20. I have to say, Patrick, great performance from Amanda Lightfoot. After the fourth shoot, she's 21st. She's only missed one shot.
Well, that's the best she's done this season. Her shooting standard this year. It's not going to be a medal, I don't think. It's not going to be a medal, I don't think. And the gold should be hers. She's missed one so far, Delmar. She usually misses two in the individual. Taking her time. She's taking her time. 3 down. 4 down. 1 to go for Lauren Delmar. No mistake this time. But what is the margin? Kukalova out in 34.25. The clock ticking for Dalmar. She's going to be inside, but how much will it be by? It's not 20 seconds as she had last time round. 17.9 to play with, and someone of her quality does not throw away 17.9 very easily. It would take a fall or a technical mistake from Dalmar to lose this one, surely.
Very much so. Three 15-kilometre races this season. Looks like she's on the way to her third victory, but at the World Championships, that's got to be special.
Well, we used to see adverts by Magdalena Neuner for what, 2-3 years after she retired from World Cup racing. I think that is the end of her windfall, because Dalmar is now the golden girl of German biathlon, and it looks as though she could be making it 3 out of 4 golds here in Hochfilzen. What a sensational run of form. Well, the best of the French in the Finnish area. Hardly believe I have to go all the way down to 17th position. And Monnier sitting 3:30 behind the leaders. And Ace Chevalier could put that right and get one of the French into the top 10.
She looks quite tense there, Patrick, taking the empty magazine out, putting the new full clip of 5 rounds in.
Amanda Lightfoot just being pushed down to 22nd position.
Well, as Chevalier sadly has missed her first shot. Amanda, even more special. Just what, last week she was feeling really unwell. She has shingles. She got a lot of medication for the shingles. She was so nervous on day one of the races and has settled and composed herself. I think that's an amazing result from Amanda. And she showed her ski speed. That potential's always been there. All she needed to do was relax on the rifle. She's done that today, and that's her true potential, a top 25.
Well, as we watch Stuic come through the 14-kilometre stage, 1K to go for her, I can tell you that Durana Bear has missed 4. She's outside the top 25, and actually Lightfoot could take Durana Bear's scalp today, which is something that she can be proud of. Daria Domracheva, Mike, out of the range after the 4th shoot in 16th position with 3 misses. She's not quite matched the ski speed of Teja Grigorin of Slovenia, who's missed 3 and is still in the top 15.
Shima, strong ski time as well today, but missing 2. It's 2 too many.
Here comes Kaisa Mäkäräinen. She's missed 4 too many. 44.54, 2:59 behind, 19 out of 20, and it could have been Mäkäräinen sitting on top of the podium. Here goes Dunkley. It's going well. Oh, spoke too soon. The second miss is going to be very, very expensive.
Well, Matthew Emmons, the Olympic gold medalist shooter from the Summer Olympics, has done so much good for the American biathlon team, and so mumuch confidence gained by working with a star, a raw shooter like that.
1:48, 6th position for Dunkley. Now, if she can maintain that advantage or that timing, she will move into 5th place in the finish, ahead of Hammerschmidt of Germany. And I think Dunkley can outski Hammerschmidt over that last 3K. So a top 5 would be another good result for the Americans. They've already had Bailey, who's produced a good run in the men's pursuit. Stuic. We stay on her as she comes down into the stadium, 43.58. Looking, what, for top 7, 44.24. I'm not sure she's going to match Pigdrushna.
Shouting for some track space as Stuic comes under the tunnels, the final 120 metres. What a wonderful performance on the range, and a very strong ski time as well.
This is the best home performance we've seen so far at these championships. We thought it might be Ada or Eberhardt or possibly Lisa Theresa Hauser, but no, it's Stuic. who has done it. Now, the next split time for Dalmar will tell us whether it's gold or silver for Germany, and it's looking very golden at the moment. From 17 seconds, she's taken her lead to 21.3, and the worst of the last 3 Ks is over and done with.
Well, those incredibly strong legs, no matter what the weather, she just does it that little bit better than the rest.
Yeah, interesting. What percentage of power would you say your average World Cup athlete gets out of the arms compared to the legs?
It's, I mean, the arms, the specialists, the experts are saying you're getting between 25 and 28% through the arms.
Oh, I've heard up to 60 quoted.
That's for the men, I think. The absolute upper body strength in the men, 60%?
Up to 6.
Well, I'm surprised.
Well, it's an interesting one. That debate can go on, but I was going to say Dalmar probably gets more out of the legs than most.
Yeah, it's this lovely change of as she changes her weight from one ski to the other, the compression at the very end, that's where she's getting, nibbling back these precious seconds. And from someone as strong as Kukalova, well, she's really massively opening up the pace now.
Yeah, Kukalova knows it's going to be silver for her, and that will mean she's got a nice collection, gold, silver and a bronze from the 3 individual races so far. Daria Domracheva, 3 misses. She's only 3:14 behind, so the ski form is still fantastic.
Oh, you can see, look at her head, you can see she is gasping for this precious oxygen. Oh, her head, she's so tired.
The form has gone. Will she recover in time for the mass start? I wouldn't be surprised to see Domracheva sit out the relay.
Well, yes, prior to the mass start, but then the Belarus team really do need her in the team. And I think the way Skardina was shooting today, they have a chance for a medal. And she's always been committed to the team.
3 individual races this season, and Laura Dalmar is about to win the 3rd and make it 3 out of 3. So that's 1 crystal globe that she has secured today here in Hochfilzen. No one's going to get anywhere near her points tally in the individual World Cup. Kukalova knows what's coming. Gold position at the moment, but she's going down to silver, and I suspect that is exactly what the interviewees are asking her at the moment. Here she comes, 41.54. She's got 45 seconds to cross the line, less than 200 meters to go. It's a fabulous feeling to be in this position. She can see the finish, and Laura Dalmar can hear the cheers of the thousands upon thousands of German fans that have come to see her today. They've been rewarded. She looks for an extra fraction of a second and secures the win. 41.30, some 3 minutes quicker than the last individual that she won in Antolz.
What a brilliant performance. To miss 1 out of 5 the first time, and then Dalmar putting the next 15 down. Pure mind strength, pure composure. And that's a very strong performance from Vanessa Hintz, a 7th, and Domracheva, having just given birth on the 1st of October, I still think it's exceptional. And her silver medal, sorry, her bronze medal in the pursuit was a dream come true.
I thought it was silver. Lightfoot still there in the top 30. Is she going to survive? Or she goes down into 30th position, 45.47 the time for Lightfoot. And as Dalmar started 93 of 99, I think Susan Dunkley is just going to push Amanda Lightfoot out of the top 30. Gold number 3 for Dalmar. 9 out of 9 in terms of medals at World Championship races. The records are tumbling.
What a biathlete. Her balance, her strength on the skis. And of course, Domracheva was silver in that pursuit competition.
Has to be said, we were expecting Dalmar to do something like this in Oslo last year. We were in the same hotel as her in Oslo, and we were a little bit surprised that the team didn't seem to be gelling. Dalmar didn't appear to be particularly happy, but this time round, everything is falling into place.
Yes, she's more mature. Her strength, her endurance is all there, and her health issues that Dalmar had last year are now a thing of the past.
Here comes Dunkley up to 14.204, top 6 possible. She's trying to knock Hammerschmidt out of 6th place. Avakamova in 5th place, just 2.03 behind. So top 5 is possible for Susan Dunkley. It's a good run, but the Americans so desperately want a medal.
I just wonder, Patrick, how many years Dalmeyer will stay with the sport. I hope she stays for another 10, another 15, and she'll break all the records on her mind strength, her great endurance. And at the moment, she's loving her biathlon.
Well, she's not a big woman, Mike, but she must be 90% heart and lungs the way she races. It is an incredible engine that she's got, but added to that, she just has the perfect mind for biathlon. Anaïs Chevalier, exactly the same shooting score as Dalmeyer.
She's not
Dalmeyer,
Domracheva missed three,
She missed three.
But look at that, Amanda Lightfoot is now ahead of Anaïs Chevalier, and Amanda only missing one, skiing so fast.
Yeah, and she's beaten Tyrrell Eckhoff, the sprint world champion from last year. Chevalier going into 36th position, something not quite firing with the French day. Not sure what it is. Their shooting's not as good as it usually is, and they all look tired out on the... So possibly a ski problem.
Maybe when you look at their performances in the sprint competition, 3 of them in the top 10, only 1 in the top... In fact, none in the top 10 today for the French team.
Now it's Avakamova's time that Susan Dunkley is chasing down. I think she's going to be just outside that 43.33, a little bit too quick. But Hammerschmidt on 43.57 is going down into 7th position. And Susan Dunkley of the United States into 6th with 18 hits out of 20. 106, 1 shot more, and Dunkley would have been on the podium. Well, a big smile from Susan Dunkley, but when she looks at the analysis later on tonight, I think she'll have a couple of sleepless hours just thinking about what might have been. But the surprise on the podium today is Alexia Rungaldier, who sits in 3rd place, 1:45 behind. She's the best of those that have cleared all the targets. She deserves that bronze medal, and at last the Italians have something to cheer. Further down the order, some huge names. Domracheva 13th, Makarainen 15th, Vera 16th, Scardino down in 17. Zduic of Austria, she deserves another mention. 11th place, hitting 20 out of 20. Conditions for shooting just about as good as they get, but we do, of course, have the pressure of the World Championships, and that's something that Laura Dalmeyer is better at coping with than anyone else. Her 3rd gold. Well, she's got the women's relay to come, Mike, and France and Germany are amongst the favourites. On today's performance, you'd back the Germans. On the pursuit performance, you'd back the French. So we'll wait and see which way the pendulum goes for that one. And, of course, the women's mass start. Very composed, Laura Dalmeyer today, especially when you consider she missed a shot on that first shoot, which opened up the race. Mike, we know the podium positions: Dalma, Kukalova, Rungaldier. Anyone else in the top 10 that you think we should pick out?
Top 10, of course, Korea, best ever result. Avakimova hitting all the targets, as you said. 3 athletes only achieving that today. Hammerschmidt, the German girls are good, 3 in the top 10. And Duic, 11th position, just outside the top 10 again with the perfect shooting score. On a day like today, you could predict some 7 athletes shooting the perfect score, but I think it just shows what comes with a World Championships race, the pressure. Perfect shooting conditions. Only 3 holding the nerve enough to get 20 out of 20. Not even Dalmeyer achieving that today.
Well, this is certainly turning out to be the Germans' championships. They've had a gold medal with Benedikt Doll in the men's sprint. They had a gold medal in the mixed relay. They've had 2 more golds with Laura Dalmeyer. They've been totally dominant. but it hasn't been that way for many years. They looked good out in Oslo last year, 12 months ago, but this is the best we've seen from them for a long, long time. Dalmar sitting on top of the podium, 41:30.1, the winning time here in Hochfilzen in the women's individual. But well done to Gabi Kukalova, 3 races, 3 medals, a gold, a silver and a bronze to take home to the Czech Republic, and there may be more.
Doesn't come much better than that, and they're so evenly matched, aren't they? Dalmar, Kukalova, 24.7 seconds separating them, over 15 kilometers, the exact same shooting standards.
Start times: Kukalova starting 51, Dalmar starting number 93.
Well, it looks like there was very little influence there. Look at Amanda Lightfoot. That's her best ever performance. She had a 34th at the World Championships in this race in Hanty-Mansisk. And I'm so happy that she's got her magic back. And that's going to open up her relaxation. And I think the performances are going to multiply. That's great news for her, great news for the British team.
And of course, Lightfoot's best performance this year, prior to today, 60 seconds. So she's cut that in half. What a day to do it. Let's hope that inspires one Scott Dixon, who'll be in action tomorrow in the men's individual over 20 kilometres.
Alex Gleaves as well, his first outing at the World Championships. Does shoot very well.
Right down in the 80s, 90s, you can see the shooting scores from Lena Heike, 7 misses. Painful, painful stuff for her. Dalmar, 19 hits out of 20. She's won the previous